I have waited for a long time to make this video and I don't feel I'm ready to record it, but I don't know how much longer I'll need to wait to get all the necessary information, so I might as well address it now. I think that now is an important moment to talk about what death is and why you shouldn't be scared of it. For many years I've been trying to get answers from machine elves regarding the nature of death, and they gave me many answers, but they said that to truly learn about it, I need to be willing to experience its presence firsthand. I said no to it because so far I've not lost anyone close to me and I'm not willing to go through this if I don't have to. But I have discussed with them many aspects of this life and our existence outside of it, and it is clear that death is not the end of life. This video is actually made of two parts. This one will deal with the metaphysical aspects and machine elf information, and the second part, already uploaded to peterhedron channel, will provide you with scientific proof that reincarnation is a fact. Subscribe to the channel and watch the video once you're finished with this one. I'll be uploading there a lot of videos about non-metaphysical aspects of 434. Join peterhedron on Instagram to stay up to date with video announcements, as YouTube still censors this channel. And that's why I want to ask you to support this independent source of metaphysical information. These videos allow you to access a lot of important knowledge, including this video, and I hope that I have your trust and that you are willing to finance me and my work. There's Patreon, Subscribestar, PayPal, CashApp, cryptocurrency, and bank transfers. All links in the video description. Thank you for your support, it means the world to me. Those of you who have been long-time 434 viewers know that my interdimensional communication consists of contact with the entities and also with people who died. So far I've had a chance to talk to 3 of them, and I've discussed all of this in the video called Talking to the Dead. You need to know that all of my communication with machine elves happens in outer dimensions, which seems to be outside of the realm that our human existence is based in. After my outer dimensional mushroom trips and after many years of researching the near-death experience phenomena, it seems that the psychedelic realms we all experience are probably the same ones as the one we go to after leaving this reality. This has been confirmed in many books and reports from people who came back to life after being clinically dead. And recently machine elves confirmed this by showing me that our reality and the outer dimensions are connected. They explained that there are parallels between them that we don't understand. A few months ago I finally asked the question, what is death? And they answered, your human virtual reality devices are the closest to how you can understand death. Machine elves have been consistently explaining this reality as the training ground, and the concept of life and death seems to fall still in the same category. I've been getting visions and explanations of this for all of these years talking to them on mushrooms, and one of the most important early explanations was a vision of a giant chessboard located between dimensions where my higher self and the machine elves were playing and organizing this existence. It all seems temporary and located outside of this reality, and it seems once we're done with this temporary game, we go back to where we came from. There was another vision that I explained in the video related to time concept, where I talked about how I was presented with a giant 3D sphere that contains everything that happened in this existence. And when you're inside this sphere, it seems like all of this is real and well structured, but when you look at the life here outside of this sphere, you can see that it's just a small virtual reality type of structure that we're all taking part in, with time and space actually just being an illusion assigned to this virtual sphere. When I was taken to my dimension of origin, they showed me my true form and they confirmed that this is our true existence outside of this life. They told me that what we have here is just a temporary physical form. And this was not just a subjective explanation of my existence, because I saw many other people in their energy diamond forms around me, and within the last year I was contacted by a lot of people who had the same vision of their true form in psychedelic states. I was also told that it's very important what you do in this life, as this will have an impact on the outcome of your existence after this one. It's not about when it ends, but it's about the quality of what happens before it ends. It has been explained to me that this is a step in a very long journey, and it's actually a stop where you're supposed to rebalance and tune your frequency. It's about recharging our batteries. This is also why I was told that you're supposed to be nice to people when you meet them. Because although it seems like a long existence, we cross paths with others for a short moment before we go back on our long journeys. I was told that this life is short because even though it's a stop, it's in the realm filled with a very dense energy that has a huge impact on our true form. I was also told that humans are an experiment for remote consciousness and that what you experience here is actually something being sent to your body from far away. Death does not end your existence, but it clearly ends the transmission. Many of these definitions of life and death by machine elves might sound trivial, but this life is very important. The entities explained to me many times that death ends a very noble experience. It's something very important and unusual, and it's an honor to be a part of it. Recently, I received a message regarding losing someone in your life, and I can imagine that this will be something many of us will want to know about. I was told that losing someone ends a particular lesson in your life, and the way in which they go is also a part of the lesson. It might hurt, but apparently this is how it needs to work, as many lessons in life cannot be phased out slowly, and emotions cannot be switched off instantly, and an abrupt and painful ending is sometimes necessary. I was shown that although sorrow is a natural effect of this, you should be grateful for being given the lesson rather than be angry that the lesson has ended. This might be useful in situations of hardship where we concentrate more on the bitterness of losing someone rather than appreciation of having the chance for them to be in our lives. Recently, I also experienced in my family someone getting sick with a potentially terminal illness, and once they recovered, machine elves offered an explanation as to why this took place in my life. This should help you understand why things like that happen. They said, "This disease was a message highlighting the important moments in life. These are the elements that define life, birth and death. It's for you to wake up and realize that you need to stick to the baseline, to the common denominator in form of your body's healthy foundations. It was also for you to realize that that's what life is about and that you need to get close to each other." It was a wake-up call, a point of reference explaining what life is really made of. But out of the most important messages regarding dying are those I received from deceased people I was allowed to talk to on my psychedelic trips. There was one famous person that many of you probably remember I made a video about, and they showed me that some of your personality traits are actually a part of your true outer dimensional form. It's worth remembering this when thinking about yourself in earthly terms and realizing that many of the things we enjoy or struggle with are actually a part of our metaphysical makeup, and there might be a reason why we are the way we are and why we do the things we do in this earthly reality. One of my earliest contacts with a dead person was a communication with the father of a girl in my family, and he wanted to give me a message for her. It was very interesting to learn that he left this reality knowing her future and the whole life path laid out in front of her. It seems that his death was a part of a bigger plan, and he knew that she should be in good hands. It's very likely that you will understand your part in the plan once you stop being an element of this structure. It seems that we are experiencing a temporary amnesia necessary for us to do our job and to fulfill our destiny here. But the most important information about death came from my recently deceased cousin, who had separate contact with me and my brother about a year ago. He told me that we need to take care of our loved ones in this reality. He said that we shouldn't worry and that whatever happens, everything is fine and that we all have our paths. He said that we're all one and that we all come from and go back to the same place. He said we don't die and everyone comes and does what they're supposed to do, and that we have enough time necessary to complete our tasks and that we shouldn't worry about this. Another important message from him was that they watch us and take care of us from the other dimension, and they have impact on this reality. And I know this because I asked if I should take care of his children, and he said that he's taking care of them. I've received also many universal messages from machine elves regarding death, and one of them said that we shouldn't be too concerned with what happens after this life. Many messages I get from them are related to us being too worried and too distracted by trying to understand the nature of our reality. The entities told me that we shouldn't pay attention to this and we shouldn't be too involved in trying to solve the mysteries of life and death at this stage. It appears that it's not a big deal and we worry about things that don't really matter. Of course, it's natural for us to be scared of it because of our deeply embedded fear of the unknown, and machine elves address that, saying that the fear of the unknown is one of the most unreasonable ones. It's difficult to explain logically being scared of something that we have never experienced. It seems that many of us might be scared or stressed on a daily basis because of the subconscious fear of dying, and I've seen it in many people. Machine Elves confirm that we're unnecessarily scared and stressed when there's no need for it. A few more things that I need to tell you regarding contact with the entities. One of them is that a few years ago, I accidentally discovered that death can be requested. When I was in contact with the entities, I was discussing with them the issue of struggles in life, and I told them that this life is too difficult for me, and their interpretation of it was that I want to end it. I realized that they initiated a request through their machinery to get me out of this existence, and I had to stop them, explaining that this was a misunderstanding. They told me that I was lucky that I had told them this quickly because it could have ended my life in this reality through a simple request. As always, I was able to observe the whole process, the machinery stopping and the message being retracted, so nothing happened, but they said I was very lucky. It seems that you not only can die in this life by physical means, but also by requesting it from the entities. Which brings me to my next point that many of you keep asking about: suicide. I've explained this in my previous video about depression, and I said that by committing suicide, you might be interfering with an important life and death cycle you know very little of. There's a reason why you're here, and you should not end your learning process only because you're not willing to take part in the training program that you probably picked or designed yourself. If you want to know more, watch that video. I also get asked a lot about the idea of soul recycling. It's a concept in which we're apparently trapped here, coming back to the earthly realm over and over again without the ability for us to leave this dimension. Although from seeing everything in my machine of contact, it doesn't seem to be the case, there is a small chance that it could be true. I don't have any evidence to support this theory, and I don't think anyone else has it, and I'm not sure about the origin of this concept, but I believe it wouldn't hurt to ask your relatives when they come for you at the moment of your death, why is it that they want you to go into the light with them and come back to Earth in a different body? Not resisting, but maybe just asking if you get a chance. When you're on your deathbed and your long-deceased family member comes for you, ask why they want you to go with them to the other side, and ask what's going to happen once you cross over there. If this is a prison, then because of you knowing this, you might have a chance to escape it by simply asking questions and making decisions for yourself. But as I said, I don't have any evidence for the existence of it, and I want you to remember about this just in case. From everything that I know, I can tell you that death will only detach you from your human body, and from what I heard and from everything that I've seen in contact with the entities, it seems that it's a beautiful transition. According to people who cross to the other side, you go back to heaven. And if the psychedelic dimensions are only an introduction to what heaven is like, then you're going to be in the most incredible place you can't even imagine. It's a world where you're one with everything, with no fear, no pain, and no earthly issues. It's a divine reality where you're truly yourself and where you're surrounded by and filled with love, the magnitude of which you've never felt in this reality. Everyone who has experienced it and who has been there says that the existence over there is much more real than what we experience here, and that this here feels more like a slow, painful dream. I have visited psychedelic realms that feel beyond amazing compared to our earthly life, but I can imagine that it's nothing compared to where you go after you die. It's a shame that the only death we recognize currently is biological death. It's a shame that we're more concerned with how people died rather than how they lived. I see around me people who don't realize that most of them are already dead from complete lack of values and not living to their potential. I see people dying after 90 years of life here without ever seeing their true self because they were using every possible mechanism of destruction that allowed them to get away from facing and overcoming their inner selves. Everyone wants to have an eternal life, but no one thinks what it is that they are or what they have to fill their eternity with. Michael Tsarion said once, "The denial of one's own soulhood, spirithood, or selfhood begins the descent into alienation, neurosis, and psychic death. Life is not a matter of belief in a self. It is a matter of being a self. We do not have souls. We are souls." This video will continue on peterhedron YouTube channel. In the second part, you will hear from one of the 434 viewers whose near-death experience might be a confirmation of the layered structure of our earthly reality. The link is on the screen in the upper right corner now and in the video description. I hope these videos are helpful in understanding the life and death cycle, and if they are, please consider financing these channels. Links below. It is important to share this video with others so that they understand better their existence. Subscribe, like, and share this video. Visit the websites of the artist and the musician I featured in this video. Leave your email address at news.b434.com to be up to date with the latest 434 information. Remember about b434.com and join 434 social media on YouTube, Facebook, BitChute, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and VK. Talk to each other on Telegram, Reddit, and Discord. All links in the video description.